Have I got the easiest way to help you increase your conversion rate today? Like, it's not even something that it's going to take you a long time to learn. There's no magical, mystical sales process I'm going to have you commit and study and uncover. It's actually so easy. You're going to laugh when you hear what it is. If you're just now finding this channel, thanks for being here. My name is Dana Neeson, and I run a telesales team for Tailored Legacy. We sell final expense insurance over the phone with just one carrier. My job is to always try and help you have stronger, more sophisticated sales conversations, and that includes your conversion rate. Have you ever seen the movie Sliding Doors?
Have you ever wondered what might have been? Would things be different if you caught the train instead of missing it? How much would your life change if you were 10 minutes early?
Hello?
Instead of 10 minutes late?
Helen? I had just caught that train.
Essentially, if she gets on the elevator, it shows her life and how it unfolds because she walks into her apartment and finds her husband or fiance, I can't remember which one, sleeping with another woman. And of course, everything unravels and you have her whole life unfolds one way. If she doesn't make the elevator, then that gives enough time for the woman to leave the apartment. She walks into her loving husband, and it's as if nothing happens, and you see her life go a different direction. That movie made such a big impact on me because it translates so much. I mean, have you ever thought, God, had I left the house 5 minutes earlier, I could have been in that car accident, right? Like, there's so many things that happen in our life that determine what happens next. All the decisions that we make and the decisions that we don't make impact our future. It's wild when you really start thinking about it. And so when we talk about conversion rates, you can literally increase your conversion rate overnight with who you choose to spend your time with and who you choose not to spend your time with. The inspiration for this video happened yesterday when I was on back-to-back coaching calls with my team. And the very last coaching call of the day was with a newer agent. I believe she just finished her first full month here, and she's doing very well, but not as well as she wants. Actually, her talk time to sales ratio has increased, and we're trying to figure out why. Like, what's the issue here? And of course, we're automatically going to assume there must be something wrong with your sales process. Why aren't you converting these leads? So the two that we happened to listen to, which all happened in the same day, ended up people she should have never spent her time with. And I'm going to get to how this relates to the sliding doors analogy. The first guy that we listened to literally told her that he wanted 35 to 80,000. 80,000 was ideal, but he would settle for 35,000 to specifically cover the mortgage, and that his final expenses were already taken care of. Okay, we sell final expense insurance. Yes, we sell life insurance. Yes, we can offer a final expense policy. She asked some questions about how long have you been looking? What have you found? What caused you to not purchase a policy that was offered to you up until this point? And he basically told her they're too expensive. I'm not going to pay $300 or $400 for a $35,000 policy. I could just save that or buy gold, right? So he's already really not seeing the value of this. He was also approaching 80. So $35,000, even for a very healthy individual, is probably going to be close to $300 or more per month. So we already know this, right? Plus, we don't have any leverage for the final expenses because that's already been paid for. So instead of, in this case, recognizing this probably isn't going to be someone that I'm going to be able to help and let him go, she stayed on the phone with him for 27 minutes. 27 minutes with someone that I knew within 3 minutes we were not going to be able to help. And had she gotten off that call, chose to go into the elevator instead of miss it because she spent so much time with this person hoping that it was going to turn into a sale because of something magical that was going to come out of her mouth. She let the other leads go to other people, right? That's what I wanted to get her to start thinking. While you were wasting your time spending 27 minutes with somebody you couldn't sell, you gave away potential buyers and customers an opportunity to the other agents on the team because you weren't the one that called them. The second call we listened to was a woman who did fit our mold. She did have the need. She wanted a final expense policy. 8 minutes into the call, which is kind of right after discovery, is when we identify whether or not someone has a bank account, right? We specialize working with people living on fixed incomes, which means all our programs are customized. Are you on SSI or disability? And does that money get directly deposited into your bank account, or do they put it on one of those direct express cards? She says, I don't have a bank account, but I've been planning on getting one of those. So because she heard I'm planning on getting one, she chose to continue the call, right? Another 30 minutes wasted for someone we cannot sell. She literally scheduled a call back for when she opens a bank account. We don't want to take debit cards or direct express cards because the persistency on them nationwide is like 30%. It's a joke. You have to remember that the reason that people typically don't have bank accounts is because they can't get one. They've probably historically not managed their money well. They're on some sort of vector list with the banks that says, don't open a bank account for her, right? She's gone negative so many times. That's usually the reason why our seniors don't have them, is because they can't even get one anymore, right? That's why they're living on a fixed income. And I know there's exceptions to the rule, but this is the reality. This is why we don't want to offer policies to people that we can't serve them because they can't even get out of their own way to keep their policy in force, and they can't serve us because we don't get an advance and our commission is next to nothing. We are not a nonprofit here. So after she identified that there was no bank account, she kept going. So just in these 2 calls alone, because she had like 4 or 5 calls that day that didn't end in a sale, I think it was 4. 2 of them she should have gotten off the phone with. I'm so sorry. Let me text you my business card. When you do open that bank account, feel free to call me back and I'll help you understand how the program works. And go find the ones you can help. Okay? This is exactly what sliding doors is. The decisions that you make affect your outcome. Had she saved then that 45 minutes of time to be on the phone with other prospects and other people that she could help, she might have sold something that day, right? And let the conversion rate work in her favor. So instead of having 4 calls that lasted greater than 20 minutes that ended in a quote, go 0 for 4, she probably really only went 0 for 2. I don't know how the other calls were because we didn't listen to them, but let's just assume they were correct. She probably did need that 3rd call to be 1 out of 3, right? Or 4 calls to be 1 out of 4, because you're actually presenting to people that will buy. So a long time ago, I posted that I have a 70% conversion rate on calls over 5 minutes. Guys, it's not because I'm converting every single person that gets on the phone with me. It's because I'm really good at identifying a buyer and deciding who is worth my time. Who am I going to stay on the phone with? If I can't control or inspire or motivate, or if they don't fit our mold, right? If they want something we don't do, even on a remote level, I'm getting rid of them. And of course, this is easier said than done when you're on a free lead model and you're not paying for the leads and it's not so painful. But if you apply this same mentality, if you are buying your own leads, it's going to be the exact same thing, because I'm going to give you another way to think about it. Let's pretend you have a list of 100 leads and you get one of them on the phone, and it's the same situation that I just gave you with the first scenario, Or the guy was like, well, I want, X amount of coverage to take care of the mortgage. He already has stuff paid for. You only sell final expense insurance, but you're thinking, well, maybe he'll buy a $20,000 policy from me to help ease the burden, but not cover everything. And you try, but he's already told you it's too expensive. He doesn't want to spend that much money. He doesn't see the value in it. He could just save it himself, right? You're already hearing all the warning signs, but you choose to spend 20, 30 minutes of your time with this person, and he ends up telling you no, because that's what happened. The way I want you to think about it is, what if you had let him go earlier and continued to make the calls on the list, right? What if that 10th person you were going to call was available during the time you were wasting your time with this person, but then left when you got off the phone? Like, what if that 10th person would have answered because you spent your time the way you should have, but instead they didn't answer because you made the decision to stay on the phone longer? Like, these are the things that I think about. Your results could be different if you spend your time wisely. So you can artificially increase your conversion rate overnight should you be more selective and careful about who you spend your time with. Let me know your thoughts on this. Did it help? Is it something you already do right now? Would you struggle with having to say goodbye to leads if it was something you paid for? Think about the negative ramifications that it causes. Where you choose to spend your time avalanches into the decisions that happen in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Food for thought. I will see you guys again tomorrow.